Go. Hmm. All right, so how come I don't have it on here yet? There it is. Where's the picture? Are you serious? There's no picture. That works. All right, we're getting ready. About to take off. Okay. Let's see. All right, here we go. All right, everybody, welcome back to Lock, Loaded, and Goated. I'm your host, Brandon Andrews, and I am here, and we are reviewing some big news. Big news for Alabama. Huge W today for recruiting for football. Jordan Edmonds committed out of Georgia. Very highly rated corner. Some believe could be the number one corner in the nation. 6'2.5", 175 pounds. 247 has him as the number one cornerback. Number two out of Georgia, 10th nationally. The composite rates him a little lower. He's still the number one cornerback in the nation, which is huge. Fourth player out of Georgia, 27th nationally. So anybody that doesn't know, composite ranking obviously matters, especially in terms of, because it takes all the big four recruiting services and adds them together. So huge pickup. Obviously, what that means for us as an Alabama fan is essentially we're in good hands. That's the way I take it. We're in good hands, because what I'm noticing is, as a Bama fan, is the recruits are still coming in. This kid, Saban was the reason why recruits, DBs came to Alabama. Saban's gone, guys. He's gone. So why are they still piling in? It's because the program, the capstone, people want to be a part of this. I don't know what else to say. There's other schools that people want to be a part of too. I mean, Texas, Michigan, Ohio State. All these schools have tradition, rich histories, and people want to be part of something like that. And Alabama is no different than them. But a huge win for us, Jordan Edmonds. We kind of felt like it was coming. Obviously, it's still early on in the process. We have a lot to do to hold on to him. But the fact that he committed, it could be a snowball. We've got a lot of big visitors coming. very shortly, and it could be a snowball effect. So I'm really excited about that. But with that said, Jordan Edmonds to Bama, huge win for us on the recruiting trail. A-Day is coming up April 12th, as you can tell. So A-Day's coming. I will be going. I'm going to be bringing my kids. I'm excited to go down there and honestly just try, to enjoy, everything that Tuscaloosa has to offer without any pressure of, game days. It always seems like it's a pressure cooker. So I'm very excited to see that. But anyway, so A-Day is coming. I'll be going down there for that. So moving on, a lot haven't been on for a while, but there's a lot to kind of cover, the kind of things I want to cover anyway. So more Bama recruiting news, and we will get into basketball in a second, but more Bama recruiting news. E.J. Crowell, many consider to be the number one running back in the country. Not saying all services, but many highly regarded experts think that he could be the number one running back in the country. He is on his eighth visit to Alabama. Eighth visit to Alabama, and he is. These aren't official visits. These are just 8. Thank you for following Bama. These are 8 visits to Bama already, and he hasn't even taken an official visit yet. This is crazy. So many consider him. So the comp that I heard from another show, so I'm not going to try, but Ashton Genty. Now, obviously, what they mean by that is just a great running back that's going to really do things to try to, get to the next level in terms of the defense. So very quick burst, bowling ball type runner who like bounces from one to the other. He can really shift and adjust his weight, and he's very low center of gravity. So he has a very, very good balance. So excited to see that. I think we're going to be good. I think the running game is going to be more prevalent this year, and I think we're going to really see, and players are going to start seeing that, and I think the running game will start really taking off, especially this year. But E.J. Crowell, he's on his 8th visit to Bama. Like I said, he could be the next man to go ahead and pull the trigger. I hope he is. I mean, I would love that's one. So Jordan Edmonds, flat out, yes. Anybody that's a Bama fan, we need DBs. So huge pickup for this on that one. But like, E.J. Crowell, that's your offensive, that's your skill player splash too on the offensive side of the ball. We would love to have him commit, and hopefully Jordan Edmonds' commitment today will spark a little bit of oh my God. Anyway, hopefully we'll be able to get it. And so anyway, but let's see here. So a couple of notes around the country, like I said, quick, just hanging out and just shooting the shit. I haven't been on in a while, but a lot of stuff going on. But Ohio State is visiting the White House on April 12th. Kudos to them. They're our reigning national champions. Kudos to Ohio State. They deserve it. And I'm glad that they're taking the trip to the White House. That's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for anyone. And very, 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 excited for them, even though I'm not an Ohio State fan. So, just kudos. Got to give props where they're due. They won, so they get to go, and kudos for them for taking it. So the other thing out of Ohio State, and like I said, this is, kind of just try to dabble in everything. I'm hearing, and this is coming from departing players. This is not coming from Brandon. This is coming from quotes from players that are going to the NFL, that Sayin is going to be the guy at QB. Julian Sayin is going to be the guy at QB. He's the future. He's going to be the starter. Again, I don't know. I don't know if he'll stay the starter, but he is going to be the starter according to players. So again, we'll see what happens. These are players that are on the Ohio State team, players that are leaving the Ohio State team, players that have been interviewed as far as spring practice and stuff. And right now they're looking like Julian Sayin is the real deal, and he's going to be it. Now, Tavian St. Clair is sitting right behind him, and rest assured, Tavian St. Clair, he's just like Keelan Russell. He's a talented quarterback who's not going to sit for long. So if Julian Sayin messes up, don't be surprised. Now, Sayin knows the offense because he's been there with Hartline. I know Hartline's a different offensive coordinator for Ohio State, but it's not like it's a different not like it's a different offense altogether. So it'll be interesting to see that. Plus, Ryan Day knows offense pretty well. So it'll be interesting. But I think Julian Sayin, he was a Bama boy for a minute. And I think it'll be interesting to see him at quarterback for Ohio State and see what he can do. But other news just around the conference before we get into like Nitro Tuttle, the wide receiver, sophomore at Georgia, suspended for reckless driving and speeding. These kids, this has nothing to do with Georgia, but like these kids, somebody has to be like looking over their shoulder and be like, hey guys, don't do silly stuff like this. Obviously, I don't think anyone means to get in trouble like this, but obviously what we don't want is people getting suspended and diluting the game because great players don't get to play, don't get to develop. And then obviously freshman O-line Marquise Easley, he was suspended too. So Georgia, same narrative as always in the offseason, arrests, things like that. I don't think it's anything that serious. I don't condone the reckless driving and speeding. I mean, obviously, like, look at Henry Ruggs as a Bama fan. He obviously did the same thing and it killed someone. And now he's in, his life is ruined. So obviously we don't condone that activity, but at the end of the day, I don't think Georgia's really got that big of a problem. Not yet. You know what I mean? Like, if it just went one after the other, yeah, 100%. But, like every one of us have drove recklessly and sped. So I'm not going to sit here and get on the high horse. I think that's fair to say. So looking at one more thing before we try to, dive back into some other stuff is Bama women. Bama women lose in a double overtime thriller against Maryland. Their season's ended 111-108, finished 24-9. But kudos to them because I'm going to be honest with you. I think Bama women's basketball, it is anyone that's a Bama fan, it has been negligible at best for many, many, many years. Had some moments of clarity, and then obviously it would go back down to the tank. But I think we're on the up and up. It seems like we're definitely more consistent, and we're on that Nate Oates path as far as basketball's concerned. So I'm excited to see a women's basketball. Like I said, I don't watch women's basketball. It's just like if it's on, it's the only thing on. Yeah, I'll watch it. But what I'm getting at is at the end of the day, like it's basketball and it's women's basketball. It has nothing to do with women or men. It's just, like I said, unless it's the March Madness, I don't really watch it. So, but I do enjoy men's basketball a little bit more, but that's just because, more action, stuff like that. Plus I'm more familiar with it. It gets more publicity, but, with that said, congratulations to the women. They did make it and they did end up losing to Maryland, but that's okay. Kudos to them for getting there and finishing 24-9 on the season. So Jalen Hale is back at wide receiver. Jalen Hale at wide receiver for the football team is back. He has been practicing. He's been practicing well. And it's being reported that he actually is having a lot of fun with the offense. The quote was really like I kind of like focused on it's fun and exciting. I mean, there's tons of variety, which makes it interesting. So I'm very curious to what that means, but apparently Grubb is doing things a tad different than what Nick Sheridan did last year, which anyone that watched us last year, there's nothing wrong with different, okay? Because we relied far too heavily on Jalen Milroe, and this is not a beat up Jalen Milroe thing, but we relied way too heavily on Jalen Milroe to run, and then obviously we know he can't throw. I mean, it is what it is, but I think it's exciting to see a pretty decent receiver as a freshman come in and say, he got hurt last year and he's saying, I'm having fun. I'm having fun doing this. So that's really good news as far as I'm concerned, because obviously that means we're doing something right on the practice field. And I hope that we can continue that. I mean, like I said, it's going to be interesting for sure, but I'm super excited about getting to see what this offense looks like on A-Day. First scrimmage of the year is tomorrow, and I'm very excited to see what comes out of that. That's going to be real. That's going to be real interesting. I'm gonna look up something real quick. That's going to be real interesting to see where we go from there. But let's see here. Oh, here's the games here. So I want to look at this real quick. Okay, no. So anyway, yeah. So okay. So we'll do this. There we go. Do that. There we are. I'm getting there, fellas. I'm getting there. All right. So last thing on football, then we're going to move on to where, it's March Madness. So this is where we should be and what we should be talking about. Thank you, Austin. What's up, brother? Roll Tide, roll Tide. I just want everyone to know, that football is here, but it's basketball season right now. But football, spring practice, we got our first scrimmage tomorrow. And the only other news I've got out of practice so far is Jamarian Latham is moving from the bandit position to the wolf. So he'll be a true like pass rusher this year, which I'm going to be, Austin. Yeah. I just said that. Jordan Edmonds, huge 6'2.5", 6'3" DB out of Georgia. Number one DB and the composite ranking. He's the number one DB in the class. So huge win for us on the recruiting front. That was the first thing I led off with. That's the only reason why I jumped on real quick. Obviously, the offseason's been slow, but when Bama has a win like that, we got to celebrate. But anyway, so Jamarian Latham moving from bandit to wolf to be more of a pass rush situation. And I think the big thing is they're trying to get more pass rushers on the field that can actually impact, because I think Jamarian Latham is one of the better pass rushers, and it'll be interesting to see who he comes in for. Obviously, Keenan's probably one of them. James Smith, I'm hearing he is a very, very solid option for pass rush off the defensive line. So I'm excited to see what that is. But Jamarian Latham moving from bandit to wolf, that's pretty much it. So again, like I said, we're not going to spend all day over here, but what we are going to do is we're going to talk about March Madness, because Alabama is still in it. So huge deal for Alabama basketball. It's not a big deal for places like Kentucky, Duke, things like that, Kansas, all those places. But for Alabama, 4 straight Sweet 16s is huge. That's huge for us. It's huge for the program. It's just huge. So I'm very, very excited. This basketball team finished number 1 offensively in the country 2 seasons in a row. And this basketball team doesn't get enough praise. People don't praise Nate Oates and what he's doing enough. But since I haven't been on, we're going to just talk about the things that we know. And what we do know is Bama struggled a little bit against Robert Morris. They did. It wasn't like the game was in question. It was just like they weren't willing to pull away and do the things that were necessary to take the game over. And that's okay. I mean, obviously, little adversity is not going to hurt us, especially with all that we've been through this season. But they did get the win, 90-81. Congrats to those guys. They deserve it. St. Mary's. The St. Mary's game was a little bit different. People are complaining. People are saying, Bama's had an easy schedule. Well, we're a 2 seed. It's supposed to be easy. I mean, St. Mary's beat Vanderbilt. We didn't rank them there. We then move on to play BYU. BYU beat Wisconsin, the 3 seed. We can't do anything about that. The BYU game is going to be very intriguing because BYU and Bama are very similar in their offensive styles. They're big time 3-ball shooters and basically live and die by the 3. And BYU can shoot. Both teams can be suspect on defense. I said suspect, not terrible. I just mean suspect. And it'll be interesting to see us match up against BYU. I think Bama, I mean, we have the depth. Like I said, it's a matter of, do we put it all together? Do we take the game over? And do we make this game ours? And then we will be, more than likely, we will be in the Elite 8 against Duke. I know Arizona has won. I know Arizona's there. I think Duke is the real. Thank you, guys. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Corn Dog. He said, "Go Vols." Yeah. Hey, man. The Vols, as far as basketball goes, look very good right now. They're looking good. I think they're in a good spot. And I'm going to go around the league. Just curious, since you brought up the Vols and stuff, I really believe that Kentucky matches up well against Tennessee. there's some reason that it's the SEC is weird, man. It's all about matchups. Like Tennessee matches up so well against Bama, and if we played y'all, I would pick Tennessee. It's almost a no-brainer at this point, because whatever y'all do, it's like we can't. Y'all are our kryptonite. You're the kryptonite to us. We can't beat y'all. But Kentucky matches up well against Tennessee, and it's weird, man. It's weird. It's just weird how the SEC does that. Like I watched Florida go in and manhandle Bama, everyone, and then they come out and they barely beat a UConn team. That a lot of talent on the UConn team, but not anywhere near the talent they've had previously. And Florida is a really good a really good basketball team this year. So, but yeah, so let's just go around the league. So Auburn, the old hated rivals. I mean, they did what they needed to do against Alabama State. Creighton gave them a little bit of a run. Creighton is a good basketball program. They're always there. They're always consistent. They're always like fighting for a spot. And Auburn did put them away. So that leaves Auburn to play Michigan. Now, Michigan's a disciplined team, and they're going to give everything they've got. I am shocked at how Michigan beat Texas A&M, and that is the caveat. That's the caveat, because everyone said SEC, 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 including me. SEC. Look how many teams we got left in the Sweet 16. 7 teams in the Sweet 16. Look it up. No one's ever done that before. Anyway, 7 teams in the Sweet 16, and here's the crazy thing. The first time I can ever remember that they're all Power 4 conference teams. Every team that's left in the Sweet 16 is a Power 4 conference. Texas Tech, Arkansas, Maryland, Florida, Michigan State, Mississippi, Michigan, Auburn, Duke, Zona, BYU, Bama, Houston, Purdue, UK, Tennessee. It's crazy right now. It's crazy. But anyway, Michigan beating Texas A&M, maybe they have something for Auburn. I mean, Auburn's not invincible. We watched Florida go into Auburn and beat the crap out of them. Bama went there and beat them. They're not invincible. They're very good, though. They're very good, and it's very hard. It's very hard to beat Auburn. And we got a Florida fan in here, Emily. Florida is very good. I was just commenting. Florida's a very good team. And the problem with Florida, though, is Florida's so good, and then they come out and they play like they did against UConn, which was a bad game for Florida. And UConn is a good program, but it's a win, so who cares? They won. Thank you, Purnell. What's up, brother? Was it the SEC only had 2 teams? What was it? SEC only had 2 teams miss the big show. Yeah, it was 2 teams that missed it. Yeah, Corn Dog. It was only 2. It was only 2 that missed. And but here's the deal. Forget, I understand we had a lot of teams make it, and that's huge. It's just, this is so crazy right now. This is crazy that there's 7 teams still left in the Sweet 16. Almost 50% of the field is SEC right now. You got Florida beating Duke, Purnell. Yeah, hey man, that's going to be interesting. That's going to be interesting there. Florida is a very good team. Florida's a very good team. Florida over Tennessee in the championship game. Wow, that's good. That's good. So I'm gonna start going down the list. So I got to Bama. Bama's playing BYU. Me being the homer I am, I'm going to pick Bama to win this game. Although I do think it's like looking in the mirror at ourselves. Like BYU, it's like looking in the mirror and it's like, hey, look at me. So whoever gets enough stops, which I have Bama, I think we have the length. We got Cliff Amore down low. I think we have the length in the big men to actually get enough stops and get the rebounds to get by BYU. I then have us playing Duke. You think BYU upsets Bama? They could. BYU absolutely could upset Bama. And I'll be honest with you, it would not shock me. Like I said, it's like looking in the mirror. It's really going to be who hits their shots, because both teams live and die by the 3, and it's going to be who can get a defensive stop. So I'm going to pick Bama. Emily, you got BYU. I'm going to pick Bama. It doesn't matter, because the next game I've got Duke beating Zona, and I have Duke beating whoever, whether it's BYU or Bama. And that's nothing to sneer at, and that's nothing against Alabama. I'm a Bama fan first and foremost. But the deal is Duke and Cooper Flagg, they're the real deal. Like if Cooper Flagg gets hurt, then anything's possible. But Duke is the real deal. Duke's the real deal. I'm just telling you. You saw all you needed to see when they won without Flagg. I mean, they're deep. They're deep, and they have the best player in the country. It's going to be crazy hard to beat Duke. Can it be done? Absolutely it can. Absolutely. Absolutely. So just a matter of matchups, like we talked about before, like going down the list. So Houston against Purdue. Purdue is a good team. So Purdue beat Bama in the regular season. Purdue has the talent to beat Houston. Because remember, Purdue beat Bama. Bama beat Houston. Bama's beat Houston already this season. Bama beat them. Auburn beat them. Purdue beat, and Alabama beat Auburn. I mean, it's all about matchups. And Houston's going to have their hands full of Purdue, but I do think Houston's defense gets them through this game. I do think that. I think Houston's defense gets them through this game. And Florida and Auburn absolutely can beat Duke. They have the talent. They're deep enough. Now, the real thing is who do you got, Kentucky or Tennessee? And if it was up to me, I'm taking Rick Barnes as Tennessee. There's Kentucky's beat them twice. It's going to be a tough matchup. I'm glad we're playing BYU, to be honest with you, because Kentucky scares me. They are always talented. They have length, and they're starting to play even better. And Tennessee is just always tough. Tennessee is one of the best defensive teams in the country. And I'll be honest with you, like I said, it's a toss-up, but I think Tennessee wins this game on their defense, on their consistency, on their determination, their grit. They're just a gritty team that just gets it done. And I think Tennessee wins this one. They will play Houston. Roll Tide, brother. They will play Houston. Is Tennessee going to beat Houston? Honestly, I'm going with Tennessee. And the reason I say I'm going with Tennessee, so I've got Tennessee making the Final Four on this side, is because Houston, like I said, I watched Houston lose some games that, Tennessee can beat the crap out of Bama anytime they want to. Thank you guys. Bama did get the matchup we wanted. Yes, sir. I'll take BYU any day of the week. But like I said, no matter what, we were going through Duke. I don't have us beating Duke. I just don't have it. So I've got Duke and Tennessee on this side. And if we're looking over here, I'm going to take Auburn over Michigan. I'm honestly, guys, this is going to be crazy. I'm taking Ole Miss over Michigan State. I'm taking Ole Miss. Just look at the basketball they've been playing down this stretch. And I'm just telling you, I know they've won some games, lost some games, things like that. But look at Ole Miss. They beat Tennessee in the regular season. They beat Texas A&M down the stretch. They honestly have been playing some very good basketball. And I just be honest with you, I'd hate to go against them right now. I mean, they look good. They play Bama well. I don't know. I'm going to pick Ole Miss over Michigan State at this point. So that'll be Auburn versus Ole Miss. And in this game, this is another matchups thing. Auburn has their number. Broome is unstoppable like in this matchup, and I've got Janai Broome and Auburn beating them, going to the Final Four out of the South bracket. So here we go. We're getting down to the nitty gritty, and we're going Florida, Maryland. No brainer. I'm taking Florida. Florida's the one team that can absolutely take a game over. Thank you for following, buddy. Florida can take a game over and they can win. Now they struggled against UConn, but here's the deal: UConn's defending two-time champions. Bottom line, they got through it. They got a win. They moved on. I've got them beating Maryland, and I don't think this one's going to be close. I think they're going to come out and they're actually going to try to dominate this game. Like I think we know they can. So I got Florida winning this game. Texas Tech, Arkansas. I'm going to do this. This is going to be crazy. I'm just going to say it, though. I actually have Texas Tech winning this game. I want to root for Arkansas. Calipari has the knowledge, the know-how, the experience. I want to root. Hey, what's up, Kias? Hey, bud, I just saw you. Hey, brother, how are you? I'm good. I'm getting ready for A-Day, brother. It's coming up quick. Sorry, I'm just trying to do it all. So anyway, bottom line is I've got Texas Tech, Florida playing for the Final Four spot, and I've got Florida winning this game. I actually do have Florida winning this game, and I'm very excited. Our shooters have been shooting 15% of the tournament, but 40% in the race that we're due. Here we go. So here we are. So I would love to see Bama back in the Final Four. I don't think it's going to happen this year, and even if it did, like I said, the matchups of the teams that are remaining, I just don't think. I know Mo D's playing at home. Dude, I think we have BYU. I think we got BYU. I'm saying, do we get by Duke in the next round? That's what that's more my. I think we got BYU, but Duke is going to be the tough one. But anyway, so I have Duke, Tennessee, Auburn, Florida. I've got Duke beating Tennessee. Tennessee's great a great basketball team, great program. I like Tennessee and the way they play ball, but I'm just telling you, Duke is on a different level. And if you look at the matchup, I think Duke has someone for everybody on their team. No one in the country has someone for Cooper Flagg. It's not. There's no one. So Tennessee is great. Tennessee's freaking awesome. They play great defense. No one's stopping Cooper Flagg. That's just not happening. So with that said, I've got Duke going to the championship game against Florida. I still think Florida is one of the best teams in the nation. They're gritty. They're absolutely like just a feisty team. And for whatever reason, very rarely do you see them ever match up with anybody and be overwhelmed. Weren't overwhelmed at Auburn. Yeah, never overlook a man willing to fight. BYU is. We actually said Kia. Sorry, I'll get back to this in a minute. But BYU, we actually said it's like looking in the mirror at Alabama. They shoot the three. Their defense is questionable. They honestly they're a lot like Bama, but that's good. That's okay. Like I said, at least we should be familiar with that. Anyway, so Florida, Duke for the title, and here's the thing: Florida doesn't have anyone that's going to stop Cooper Flagg. I just said that. I'm not going to go back on my word now. They don't have anyone that's going to stop Cooper Flagg. What they do have is a better overall team in terms of what I see as product on the field. I think Florida wins the national title, wins a title for the SEC, and they go and they're national champions. I got Florida beating Duke, and Cooper Flagg is going to be left wanting. But that's my opinion. Again, anything can happen. It's March Madness for a reason. The madness hasn't even begun yet. But what we can say for certain is there are 7 teams from the SEC in the Sweet 16. Never has that happened. Like you said, we finished with 12 in the regular season, and we finished 12 that made the tournament. And then obviously, so that was a record. And then obviously the big news is the Sweet 16. Only having 7 teams in there is absolutely huge for this conference. Huge. And a lot of those teams, no one thought were going to make it this far, and they did. They were lower seeds. They beat people, but could be 6 and 8, dude, 100%. See, now we're breaking records. It's probably never going to be touched if that happens. But with that said, the other thing that was interesting, and for those of you just joining, I did say this is the first time that I can remember, and I tried to go back and look, and I couldn't find it. I'm not a good statistician like Riddle and other people are, but I have not found a scenario where it's always been a power. This is the first time I could ever been able to look and find where it's all Power 4 teams in the Final Four. I mean, in the Sweet 16. So every team that's in the Sweet 16 is a Power 4 team right now. Yeah, Arkansas can beat Tech. It's just, we've seen Arkansas play really well, and we've seen Arkansas play really bad. So yes, Arkansas can beat anybody. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they've had one of the toughest roads so far in the tournament, because they honestly, I mean, they played Kansas right off the gate. Kansas stunk this year, but at the end of the day, Kansas is still Kansas. Kansas still has Kansas talent, and they played them tough. And Kansas played Arkansas really well, and they hung with them, and but they won. And then Arkansas played St. John's. St. John's was a 2 seed, man. Everyone thought Pitino was going to do some big things, and Arkansas just went in there and Calipari doing Calipari things and won the game. But anyway, those of you just wondering, I've got Florida winning the national championship in basketball, beating Duke. I've got Tennessee making the Final Four, so I'm not selling Tennessee short. I've got Auburn versus Florida, and I've got Duke versus Tennessee in the Final Four. I'm just telling you, first one seed losing. Who you got? Auburn. Nope. I'm sorry. It'd be Houston. Yeah, it'd be Houston. I got Tennessee beating Houston. So I got Auburn losing to Florida, so I was one off. But yeah, I got Houston. I got Houston losing. Now I did say Houston could lose to Purdue. Make no mistake, Purdue is that good. And if that's the case, Tennessee has absolute. I do miss you. I do miss you, Charles. I do miss you. I think Tennessee. I think Tennessee 100%. If Purdue gets by Houston, I think it's a cakewalk into the Final Four. All I'm saying is can Tennessee stop Cooper Flag? And the answer is no. They can't stop Cooper Flag. No one can stop Cooper Flag. I've already said that. It's just going to be what you can do around him. So, but I got Florida winning it all. But either way, it could be Tennessee. It could be Tennessee. And here's the thing, but yeah, turn over and Harpton. We'll turn over to you. Yeah, I mean, I'll say this. I will say this, like, Tennessee has a team that can win the national championship. They have a team that can win the national championship. Bama has a team that could win the national championship if they hit their shots, do the things that they need to do to be successful. Can they win a title? Yes. Is it probable? The answer is probably not. Probably not probable. But with that said, it is what it is. So with that, we're going to end this because, like I said, I'm going to go cook. But I just want to get on here. I want to talk about freaking thanks, dear. What about New Mexico? Well, I don't see no New Mexico. They ain't left. they dead. they got beat by Michigan State. They done. Anyway, so here's the thing. I wanted to get on here real quick today, talk about the Jordan Edmonds commitment. Number 1 cornerback in the nation. Huge get for Alabama. One of the best skill players. They lost their whole team and coach. I didn't keep up with that. What happened? Just fill me in. Fill me out, Balake, because I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm a football fan first, and I support Bama in everything they do, but it's very difficult to keep up with all the things that we got. Hey, go Vols. Hey, well, I got Vols going to the Final Four, so I did my part. I've got the Vols and Auburn. Being a Bama fan, I've got the Vols and Auburn going to the Final Four, so that was tough. But anyway, so those of you that don't know, Patino went to Xavier and Dent is transferred. Oh, Patino went to Xavier. Xavier's a good program, too. Love the emotional hedge. I love it. Oh no, it's not emotional. I got Alabama losing to Duke. You just got here, Clay, but I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, like, straight up. I've said this. I even said this about Tennessee. I don't think anyone's stopping Cooper Flag. I think you can slow him down. I don't think Tennessee's stopping Cooper Flag. I don't think if they play Florida in the championship, where I got Duke playing them, I don't think they stop him. I think he does what he does. I just think that he's a little too much for Bama. And although Cliff Amore on defense is good, you just went out of New Mexico. It's trash here. Oh, UGA all the way. I mean, UGA. Yeah. Anyway, but bottom line is here's the deal. So those of you guys that have just joined that don't know, here's the situation. So we do a podcast during the football season twice a week on Wednesdays and Saturday nights at 8:30. Locked, Loaded, and Goated. We do that. It's on Apple Music. It's on Spotify and Amazon Music. And here's the situation. We do this because we love sports. We love talking about it, and we want to get in here and get connected with you guys. Don't lie. Yeah, it's going to be a tough game, Austin. It'll be tough. Georgia at home is tough. I think it's tough to win any SEC game on the road. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's tough. I mean, it's always tough, especially a big program like Georgia. I don't know if Alabama can win that one or not. Not with the new QB. Who takes it home, though? Who takes it home? Is the Bama-Georgia game? Or all of it? Because they're two different things. So, but anyway, like I said, while he's putting together that thought, my deal is, if you like it, go follow the podcast. Like I said, we do this stuff all the time. We try to put as much content out as we can during the week during football season. Obviously, football season is our home. It's where we love. So the deal is we'll do that. If you go follow and like the show, we'd greatly appreciate it. And then, like I said, we always appreciate everyone here on TikTok and all the other platforms that we, the purple and the red. But anyway, guys, sports shows. Good luck. Thank you, Clay. I appreciate it. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for the support. Like I said, please go like and follow the podcast on one of those Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Podcasts. Like I said, we greatly appreciate all the support, and we want to keep doing this. And like I said, we just do it for fun. We don't make any real money over this. We just try to have fun with it and enjoy the conversation with you guys. We love talking sports. This is what we want to do during the football season. We usually have about 4 or 5 of us on here talking football. 2 Vols fans. We got Georgia fan that's in it, and we got 2 Bama fans. So a lot of people in the mix. But again, like I said, I look forward to everyone being here next time. And like I said, I'll try to be on more frequently. Obviously, in the off season, it's a little rough. Those of you that don't know, those of you who want to go, we are going to A-Day. Me and my family are going to A-Day. So we look forward to meeting some people there. And for everyone, we appreciate you. Stay locked, loaded, and goated.